It's 5 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Dan, do we have anything going online? Good. Okay, no comments from the board chair tonight. We'll look to citizens addressing the board. I don't know that we have any, but anyone wishing to address the county board on an item not on the agenda may come forward at this time to be recognized by the board chair. Please state your name and address for the record. Comments are limited to 5 minutes. A personnel complaint against an individual county employee may not be heard initially at a county board meeting. Personnel complaints may be submitted to the board in writing through the county administrator's office. A person addressing the board may not use profanity or vulgar language. Is there anybody wishing to address the board? Seeing none and none online, I assume. And we will move on to the approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as written.
Commissioner Winger makes a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Carlson. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. On to the approval of the consent agenda. I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Gould. I hear a second. Second by Commissioner Sumner. Thank you. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. On to the resolution for state of emergency declaration extension. And Chris Muller is coming up, our emergency management director and public information officer. Thank you, Chris.
Well, good evening, Commissioners. Chris Muller, Beltrami County Emergency Management Director, Public Information Officer. Here to request your consideration of extending the state of emergency for an additional 30 days as emergency conditions still exist. We conducted our preliminary damage assessment last evening, and anybody want to guess? Just under 10. And that is for non-insured public infrastructure loss. And just in the last hour or so, we've been communicating with our partners at Homeland Security Emergency Management. They did take a couple of items off of that pending additional information and review. So it's down to just under 8, but we know there's going to be more applicants coming in once we find out that we're declared. So just to put that into context, that is 88 times our state threshold indicator. So we're 88 times what we would need to get to for state assistance and 44 times what we would need for federal assistance. So we're still working through that process with HSEM. Originally, it was not looking like we were going to go after a FEMA declaration. We are one of 7 counties that are going to be going through the PDA process. We are by far the largest and the one that has the most damage, but with those other counties, even if our questionable or further review items are not put back in there, this still could possibly carry over to a federal deck. So the main reason I'm asking for the extension is we still have work to do. We still have extended hours at the demo sites and are working under some emergency provisions. The current state of emergency expires on July 22nd. And the main reason I want to extend it for 30 days is I don't think we're going to be done with our work by then. And if that expires, you guys are going to have to call another special meeting. And by extending it by 30 days, that will allow the emergency to continue until your next board meeting. So that is my request.
Great.
Mr. Chair, so moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Gould. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Carlson. Any further discussion on the extension of the emergency declaration? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate all your leadership in this.
Thank you.
All right, that moves us on to the Community Resource Connection Lease Agreement. Yeah, Ann looks like she's coming up to take this one. Thank you, Ann.
Good afternoon, Chair, Commissioners, Ann Linseth, Director of Health and Human Services. And I am in front of you today to respectfully request approval of the lease agreement with Community Resource Connections that you can find in your packet. Community Resource Connections is a local agency that provides support to the community through connection and referral. Their mission statement is to improve access to and the effectiveness of community services through collaboration, coordination, and integration. And their presence in our building is a testament to that mission statement. They do serve 4 counties, Cass, Clearwater, Hubbard, and Beltrami. They are an important connector for both the residents of our community, but also for agencies within our community. They find services for our residents, but they also make collaborative connections with agencies when we have to work together, which we often do because we have a lot of challenges that we need to work on together in our community. CRC provides information and referral to almost any service that you can think of. And the other thing that they do is they are approved MNsure navigators, which means that they're trained experts who provide free health insurance application and enrollment assistance to county residents. That service that CRC offers is complementary to Health and Human Services work, as well as supports our teams that do similar work in the MA eligibility space. It is important for co-location to support that collaboration, but it also provides the community support in one place when they need to access assistance programs. CRC has been physically located in the CSC building alongside Health and Human Services for the last 5 years, with some breaks when they did work remotely during COVID. The creation of this lease formalizes the space that the CRC has within Health and Human Services leased space. And this will allow CRC to have the rights and responsibilities of a formal tenant. So with that information about the organization, do you have any questions regarding the lease agreement?
And if I recall, these were like just a couple of like individual offices, not even connected or anything in your area. So kind of like you carved out some space for them to be able to utilize. So it's not really imposing a lot on any of your staff or your department.
It is not imposing on our department, and actually they are located within space that Health and Human Services teams also is in. So when we do that initial public benefit eligibility intake and MA eligibility approval, the CRC team is there to support the paperwork requirements that go along with that. So it's really a complementary service to what our staff is doing.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me. If I hear a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Sumner. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Winger. Any further discussion?
I know Ruth and her team's been going above and beyond lately, so thanks to them.
Thank you, Commissioner Gould. Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ann. 5-0. That moves us on to solid waste debris management plan. Motion by Commissioner Sumner for the solid waste management plan. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gould. Any further discussion or questions or anything? Commissioner Carlson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I looked through this once, but I'm trying to remember, does this include the closing of the Target site on a certain date?
I don't think that was actually in this, so we'll need to address that separately.
Do that separate?
I think so. Bruce, do you,
In there.
is the closing on in there? I didn't recall that, but,
Didn't remember seeing it. Oh,
The recommendation.
okay, so the MPCA support ends July 20th. Would that not be a good time to then also just end that site so that we don't have to man that?
yeah, I think part of that was, that we were only able to, I believe we were only able to keep the MPCA employees there while we were under emergency. And if our emergency was going to be expiring, they wouldn't be able to. So we possibly could maybe still keep them. I don't know if that's a fact, but as long as we're under emergency, then that and the public deal that the governor did, that allows us to keep using state resources, if I recall correctly. But regardless, I think it's a good idea for us to, with the numbers dropping, that we got the updated numbers and stuff. We talked about it at our solid waste committee meeting this morning and agreed that we would recommend going through Sunday so that, the people would know that they'd have the rest of this week and the weekend to get their private stuff hauled to the target site, and then it would be shut down. And we would see how things go with just the demolition landfill. And if that, is getting backlogged, then we would look at we do have another potential option if we need it.
So, but you want to just address that separately or?
I think, yeah, well, unless you found it in here.
It's one of the recommendations in the plan.
Okay. That,
Underneath that target or the temporary site, Old Fairgrounds.
Oh, yeah.
There's
there's- okay.
recommendations.
Yep. Okay,
okay, in the middle there.
yeah, it's on page
Yep.
36 of the.
MPCA
packet.
support ends 20th, close the site after July 20th. Yep. So
Okay.
through the weekend
Thank you.
and then close it. So yeah, so that pretty much is covered with the current motion and second we have. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it.
I feel like the running back that comes in at the 1 yard line and just.
There you
takes
go.
it in,
Yeah.
Brian did all the work and I just show up and.
I thought you were doing the quarterback sneak, but. Thanks, Bruce. All right, so we'll go on to legislative lobbying and commissioner reports. We'll bond them together. Commissioner Sumner?
Mr. Chair, looking through my calendar here, the last couple of weeks have been pretty busy with holidays and 4th of July. Red Lake celebrated its independence on July 6th. Wasn't much happening last week, but this coming week, tomorrow I have the PILT meeting up in Town and in Kellier. Thursday, I have the Black Duck Ambulance and the Northwest. So this is the time that I usually alternate because I missed the Northwest last time. So I'm gonna attend the Northwest if you're available to
To go to Black Duck?
Black Duck.
Okay, yep,
Well,
I can do that.
that'll be
I'm
Thursday.
gonna be going up there on Thursday anyways, so yeah, I can
Is that
certainly
the
do
12
that.
hours?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, so that,
Yep.
we could do that. And also, coming up, I have the Beltrami County Extension meeting on the 28th. And gonna inquire a little bit more about, the email that we received in regards to the SNAP education. It's unfortunate, that SNAP Ed, had to fire or lay off, terminate their employees, because I feel that they provide a valuable resource, to our community. They're people of our communities. They live within, our communities. They're taxpayers. They have families. So these are, 60 families that are impacted by this federal legislation. And it's sad that the trickle down effects really do affect us locally. I'm hoping that Tony will be able to provide some sort of update on what their plans are on moving forward with the SNAP education or how, how this will impact Beltrami County. So that's my report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Sumner. Commissioner Winger?
Yeah, I did chat about on the third or second, I guess, second. I think that went all right. What else? Oh, did the Employee Appreciation Day, stop by there, visited a little bit. Still, getting a lot of calls and emails about the debris pickup. Well, still trying to explain why we just can't do all of that as a county. We did the solid waste meeting this morning and you all pretty much heard what we talked about. So, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Winger. Commissioner Gould?
I've had BICAP and HRA meetings lately and Northwest Juvenile Center meeting coming up Thursday morning this week. I'm still getting a lot of calls and emails, mostly from Bemidji Township folks that are too thrilled about the township they're not providing pickup. So I did reach out to some officials there. I haven't heard anything back. But hopefully they can reconsider at their next meeting, providing some relief to the residents of Bemidji Township. I too would like us to do something a little out of the ordinary, special for Brian's crew at Solid Waste. I don't know exactly what that is, but, you know, if we could have a couple of options to look at in the coming weeks, you know, whether it's a couple more, floating holidays thrown their way or something, I think what we just passed is gonna be helpful with some more crew members coming on and then not having to work the target site past the 20th, so, but I'd also like us to do something special for Brian's crew and our, PIO / emergency manager, Chris, who's gone above and beyond for, a month now. Well, really longer than a month, but, I wanted to share those sentiments with the board and with Tom, so that hopefully we can do something, there. And then, I just wanted to, bring up the topic of, the lobbying contract. I didn't want to talk about it while Aaron was here. He's probably watching the tape now. But, I did watch the board meeting, from last time, and it kind of sounded like we might not be super interested in doing that anymore, but what if I could save us $5,000-10,000 with another shop? I don't think Clarity and Hood is gonna offer a reduction in their price for what they offer, but I'm confident another shop or two, like if we did another RFP type of thing, we could find something for a little friendlier to our stressed budget situation. So I do think trying to lobby for a carve out economic depressed county to provide some mandated relief makes sense. And with the landfill project, the debacle with MPCA there, I think we still have plenty of reasons to have our own individual lobbyists. AMC is great, MRC is great, but they do not lobby on behalf of individual counties. It's great to have a coalition and be a team when we're all fighting for the same things, but when we have our own individual things that we need, it makes sense to have our own person, eyes and ears on the ground and going around and having those meetings for us and with us when we can be there. So just want to throw that out there. You know, hopefully we're amenable to finding some more lobbying services for next year. If that means having to go somewhere else for cheaper, I'm fine with that. Especially now that Eric's gone too.
Yeah.
It's not a slight against our local legislators. I think they're doing great, but a lot of times it's good for lobbyists and legislators to team up on things too, so.
Commissioner Gould, thank you. We are on the, we're paid up through the end of this year though, correct?
Yes, sir, you're paid up, so you
So-
still have them on a retainer until the remainder of the year.
And so so we wouldn't really have to address that towards the end of the year, probably. Right, okay. Anything else, Commissioner Gould?
No.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Carlson?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the airport authority, I'm on the budget committee, so we had that meeting. We had two meetings on it, actually. And then, I was on the land commission meeting, that we had, where we discussed what we passed tonight. And actually worked out in our favor that the DNR didn't want us to give them more land. It's like, oh, okay. It actually sounds, I think, from what I understand, it sounded like the state might be pretty favorable to our idea of the swap of the land. I think that'll work out really well in our favor, and I think it'll work out well in the state's favor also.
Yeah.
It's kind of a win-win there. Jail design and operations, if you get a chance, like we talked about, go take a drive by Pioneer Street and see the walls going up. It'll be kind of exciting this week. And then the work that we did, Klein McCarthy did a really nice job of laying out like Tom said, we had so many different options and but it became apparent right away that some just weren't gonna be as workable as others, but they did a nice job of presenting many, many options, and I think that was helpful. So, and now, Kraus Anderson's working on putting some, I don't know, how would you, I mean, it's rough estimates. I mean, it's probably rougher than a rough estimate of what something, each of those conceptual ideas could potentially cost. So that'll give us some idea. And I think they're gonna try to have that to us by maybe next Tuesday, hopefully. So we have our meeting coming up on Tuesday for that.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner
So,
Summer.
Commissioner Carlson, so you said there's 3 options. Are you gonna be presenting those 3 options to the board or what the?
We're gonna present all 3 options, we'll present all 3 options to the board, and then at the, we'll also probably, I'm guessing that we'll probably have a preferred option that we'll recommend. I think if we come to a consensus, but yeah, no, all 3 of those options will be presented per the board's instructions.
Thank you.
Don't spill the beans about the child care center though.
I filled in for Commissioner Winger on the Northwest Emergency Communication Board. And nothing really much to report there, I guess. We had the airport affairs meeting last Thursday. A follow-up airport budget meeting after that, the staff appreciation event. And I just want to give a shout out to our HR department and to Diane. They're really the ones that do all the heavy lifting on that. And I think Randy was involved on that too, wasn't she probably? But our HR staff and Diane, and they just did a great job of doing that. So thank you very much, Diane. Appreciate all the work you guys did on that. And then we had a special airport meeting. I'll let you talk about that, so you got something to talk about.
I've got plenty.
So we had some bids that were out, for some projects on the taxiways. And the reason we had a special meeting is because we had to get those, we had to either approve them or not approve them, and then get them to the state in time for the funding deadlines. And so we were able to accomplish that at the special meeting. And then I already gave you kind of a heads up, Joe, you weren't here, but I attended the Beltrami County Lakes and Rivers Association. That's always a Zoom meeting. And a lot of discussion going on these days about the damages that these wake surf boats can cause if they're not operated over 20 feet of depth in water and over 300 feet at least from the shorelines. But there was some good news in that Gant, I don't remember Gant's last name, is our representative to the Minnesota Lake coalitions. And he came back and it sounded like there's some reason to believe that there's room for compromise in making sure that people get to enjoy these boats. I guess they're fun. I don't know. But I wouldn't want to stifle that by any means. But if there's a way to operate those on lakes in areas that, and maybe more of an awareness thing, so that people are like, oh, okay, well, I didn't realize it was causing a lot of damage. The University of Minnesota is wrapping up a 3-phase study on that. They started a couple years ago. So, and again, it's more just a heads up. I'd love to hear from anybody that, I'm hearing a bit from the Lakes and Rivers side, but I haven't heard yet from folks that own the boats, and we're gonna have to listen to all sides. And maybe we don't have to do anything at all, and that's fine. I'm not suggesting that we jump in and do something, but just know that that's out there. And the phrase kept coming up, well, it might be up to the commissioners to do something. And I don't know. I don't know that that's the case, but just a heads up. So if you come across that and you come across information about it, you might want to think about that. Anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Carlson. And staff appreciation event was fun. And Then we had our special airport meeting right after that, which you already talked about. Our solid waste committee meeting, we already talked about. Black Duck Ambulance is Thursday. I'll take, both those meetings since I'm going up there anyways for the Joint Powers meeting. Our Airport Authority meeting tomorrow night, we're actually, we've been doing tours of different areas of the airport, and tomorrow night, I don't know if you saw that email yet, but, they take us on a tour of what they call the FBO, is the fixed based operator. That's the kind of people that are there for the general aviation, for repairing planes or fueling up planes, things like that. They've got the FBO, they call it. It's just a, hangar and stuff, and they also lease out hangars, and they're, that's what they call them. So we take a tour of that tomorrow, and then go to the meeting, have the budget. I think we're approving the budget tomorrow, and that you did a lot of great work on that. It's tough to print on 11-inch
Oh my
paper,
gosh.
though. I was like, I need my magnifying
Super
glass.
cheater. Super cheater.
Yeah. Got, this Thursday, I've got my HRDC annual meeting. Did a lot of work with the executive board there on the bylaws. We're, revamping and updating the bylaws. So that was, fairly extensive. We did get our roof replaced on the HRDC building, which used the same company that we used on the solid waste building out there. We've been, as Tom mentioned, we started union negotiations. I have couple more appointments for that. And then I've got the Cass Lake Rural Fire Association quarterly meeting coming up too. So I've got a lot of stuff on the books between now and the next meeting. That's all I have. And, as far as, who's got chat about Tim next for tomorrow? I think. Uh-huh. You got there. July 16th. Yeah, Tim. I thought that's what I remembered. So. Yeah. All right. Well, look for a motion to adjourn.
Come on.
Motion by Commissioner Sumner. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Carlson. All in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.